Good morning. Welcome to Season for Nonviolence, our our daily reading and call to action. And this being the first day of the Season for Nonviolence 2024, let me give you a little background. Bottom line is, it's a 64-day practice that hopefully makes a difference in our lives and in the lives of others. Because really, we each learn the practice of nonviolence one step at a time, one choice at a time, one day at a time. And this is how each of us, in our own way, participate in moving the world in a new direction, a direction of peace, through daily nonviolent choices and actions at home, at school, in the workplace, in community, and dare I say, in our own mind. This is the season for nonviolence. It was started in 1998 by the grandson of Dr. Arun Gandhi and by the Global Association of Global New Thought. It's early, my brain cells are still asleep. The 64 days comes from, that is the time between the memorial anniversary of the assassination of Mahatma Gandhi and Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. on April 4th. So from January 30th to April 4th, we practice, consciously, intentionally, purposely practice nonviolence. And the objective is to create an awareness of nonviolent principles and practices, to heal, to transform, to empower our lives and our communities. And it's a time of learning. And so hopefully some folks will join me, and we can practice together. We can share how we're doing with these different principles. For the next 64 days, I will do an inspirational reading and then invite us to do a practice for the day. So let's get started. Day 1, January 30th. The thought for today is courage. The quote that goes with that is by Anne Frank. I can shake off everything if I write. My sorrows disappear. My courage is reborn. So when we discover that everything is contained in us and we are contained in everyone, we have realized the unity of life, which is the divine ground of existence. Then we are not just a person, we have become a beneficial force. Wherever we go, wherever we live, those around us will benefit from our life. When everyone, when, excuse me, when even one unassuming person in a community has the courage to lead a nonviolent life, they will make their contribution, and they will slowly inspire others to make the same contribution, because human nature responds to such an example. When we can say, whatever comes, we will be unafraid because the divine self is within us, then this resoluteness and faith will enable us to work free from tension, agitation, and fear of defeat. The person who works in this way is at peace because they are not anxious about results. It's an interesting concept to do the footwork and completely release any attachment to the outcome. So, our invitation, our call to action today is simple, doable, attainable, and quite likely enjoyable. Today, I will light a candle to symbolize my commitment to accept the courage to practice 64 ways of living nonviolently. And so I invite you to take some time today to really check in with yourself. Are you willing to commit the next 64 days of your life to learning and practicing different ways and different thought processes to live nonviolently? Nonviolently within yourself, nonviolently in your interactions with others, nonviolently even in your own thoughts. What a powerful, powerful example we each have the opportunity to choose to be. And so, if that is something that calls to you, I invite you, I encourage you to consciously, intentionally set aside 30 seconds to a minute today to make a clear intention, to light a candle that symbolizes your commitment to practice, to accept and practice the courage of living nonviolently for the next 64 days to the best of your ability. Um, I'm looking at the chat and don't see anyone has joined. Part of what this endeavor is, if you're watching this later, um, would love to engage people in the community. Now, I realize that it is 4:30 and change on the West Coast. Um, and it's different time zones throughout the US and throughout the world. So, what we can do is we can engage questions or comments in the chat function, and then I can review those and bring those forward the next day. If you have particular questions, discussion points that you want to share, please do. And if you happen to be awake this time of the morning, or we can actually pre-record. So if you're in a different time zone and you want to participate in an open conversation about one of the readings or calls to action for the 64 days, you can actually access those ahead of time on the AGNT, the Alliance for Global New Thought website. If you just do a Google search on Season for Nonviolence, you will get those. And then we can get together in a time that works for your time zone and have a conversation that we can then broadcast for that day. Because I think the more of us that show that we're engaged, the more people that get engaged. As it said in the reading, that's kind of how humanity works. It's how vibration works. It's the law of attraction. When we be something, it attracts that energy, and then it enhances that energy. It ups the wattage. And so together, we really can make a difference. And I encourage all of us to do that. In the meantime, know that I love you. Know that we are changing the world. one thought at a time. And we got this. So let's practice this together. Namaste.